let's get into the next segment, which is Nelson, why am I holding my capital? Right? AI proof jobs and industries. Why if I had $10,000, would I put it in XOM? Would I put it in Chevron? Would I put it in BP? No, I wouldn't, just because again, there's a lot of volatility there. Like, let me just calm down. Let me sit back and relax. You don't want to catch the dip. You want to catch it on the upside, right? Like, don't get too greedy. We don't have enough money to play with the big boys. So let the market movers move the market, and then you just ride their wave. All right. Every time that I try to be a market mover, I have lost. I don't have enough information, and I've lost. So let me see when it starts going up. Right now, the stocks are all going down. When it starts going up, then that's when I'll buy, because I believe that it'll continue to go up. So, but I'm just gonna watch right now. But where is my money going? It's going to experiences, guys. It's going to experiences, and here's why. AI proof jobs and where your money's going. While there are a lot of jobs out there that are white collar, right? Accountants, lawyers. Too late to be a doctor if you're not already, unless you're watching this show at like 18. Don't worry about it. It's not too late, but like realistically, if you're 30, like if you're 35, 36, 37, like I could be a doctor if I wanted to, but I had 35 years to decide that, and I still haven't, right? Like, that's still AI proof a little bit, but who are we kidding? By the way, one last thing. One thing that I don't want you guys to fall haste to is this propaganda that your enemy is dumb and retarded and weird, right? Iran, I don't even concede them to be our enemies per se, but let me just mention one more point. Like, what would really be a good little caveat? I don't know if anyone from the IGC or Iranian ING, whatever, National Guard watches this. What if their demand comes back as the United States will open the Strait of Hormuz if you release unredacted Epstein files? What do you think we would do? Would we release the unredacted Epstein files with all the names, all the lists, everything for a chance to open the Strait of Hormuz? Or we'll be like, no, thank you. No, thank you, too. That'd be really bad. So, but I say that to say that you got to remember, the president of Iran is a heart surgeon or neurosurgeon. He's a heart surgeon. He's like a board certified, studied college heart surgeon. If you watch these guys' interviews, they all speak relatively good English. I would say, fluent in a lot of cases. Certainly proficient. They're natural. They all speak Farsi. They speak Arabic. Outside of Marco Rubio, who speaks Spanish, I don't know that any of our guys even speaks another language. You get what I'm saying? I certainly don't think we have any. We have more career politicians than, I don't think we have any heart surgeons. We have like rich people that do, like, they were born into it or went to, like, you get what I'm saying? The level of propaganda that you don't want to fall into, where these guys are all barbaric, dumb. No. Like, you have to understand your enemy. Maybe on the other side of the show, we'll talk about this. If you guys know, it's called game theory. There was this game theory back in 1993. It's a war game theory of escalation ladder, that this computer game was designed to see, what if your enemy does this? What's the best, or it's really not even enemy, but you're negotiating with somebody and they do something, and you wanted to figure out what's the goal game was to figure out how to get more points than them, right? And there's all these scenarios. There's one scenario where every time that they agree, you agree. But now every time that they do something, you do something that's like a little mischievous or devious, so you can get more points, right? Like you get a point every time that you don't agree with them, and you escalate a little bit. And then if they escalate, you just keep escalating. Well, there was all these different variations. There's game, and you guys can look this up. There's a game, there's a strategy where you just start, right? It's called escalation dominance. You escalate to de-escalate. So you just go full force at first, right? And then your enemy, you kind of the shock and awe, if you've ever heard that. But consistently, what the game showed is Well, now when you go full force, you don't know what your enemy is going to do. So sometimes they also go full force. So you guys get to the end very quickly. That's these doomsday scenarios, right? And then there's the okay, we're both going to be tepid, so like kind of stabilize. That was Cold War and blah blah blah. And then we both agree all the time, so nobody really moves forward anything. That's what Trump's frustration with NATO is. We're agreeing, but they're strategic partners, but there's really not any benefit to the United States. It is the torrential insurance policy. That's what we're paying for there. But there's a winning strategy to this game theory that was played out in early 1990s on a floppy disk that's called tit for tat. It's basically anytime your enemy does something positive, you do something positive too. So it's like, okay, we're gonna stop bombing you, you stop bombing us. Oh, we're gonna open up this shipping route. We're gonna reward each other for a tit for tat. Now, Iran, surprisingly enough, maybe some people in these cabinet meetings have to understand your enemy, because when United States did Operation Midnight Hammer, Iran fired the exact same number of missiles that the United States fired on them and Israel. Iran also right now, anytime the United States blows up a bank, Iran lets the other countries know, we're going to blow up your bank. The United States blew up a bridge or a data center. Iran says, we're going to blow up some bridges and data centers. What are they doing? They're doing tit for tat, tit for tat. They're never escalating beyond to give the other side a cold-hearted reason to just be like, now we're really doing this, because it's like, no, you guys did that first, and if you guys de-escalate, we're willing to de-escalate a little bit. So Iran is playing a game theory strategy that historically has been proven to be the winning strategy. Take that as you may. I am not giving you my opinion on that. I'm just telling you, computer simulated strategy said that this strategy of tit for tat and escalation, like dominance, is the winning strategy on asymmetrical warfare. We can talk more about that later on, but let's get into back into the what is the AI proof job markets, guys? Because I gotta wrap up the show very quickly. The AI proof job market is luxury high class experiences. Luxury high class experiences, guys. So why am I saying that? There is no white collar job that isn't going to be affected by AI. You could be an accountant, you could be whatever. AI is just going to be part of your job now, right? Like, and you can use AI to do your job better. Do I recommend that you learn how to use AI? Absolutely. Become more technical? Absolutely. But if I had $10,000, what would I be focusing on? If I wanted to get out of the AI rat race, I would really focus on a group of people in the top 5% class, right? Typically a little bit older, that just don't care to use AI. These are a lot of my clients. Right? I have a technology company, and sometimes my clients, they have their own company. They could be like a manufacturing. Talk about it in the circle community. Absolutely. Yeah, and if you have, thank you, Mr. Fireball. If you haven't joined the circle community, all inclusive circle community, I definitely want to go into more details on some of these like obscure ideas that I have. But so join circle, Ask Domnet All Access community, and I need to do a better job of just being in there with you guys more and more and more, and giving you my unadulterated thoughts. But what I realize is there is always going to be a group of people that have money but don't have the skills or patience to get to the new latest upcoming thing. Typically, these are rich older males, sometimes females too, but typically you see more wealth concentrated in men on the golf courses. They own vineyards, they own manufacturing companies, they own whatever. And they don't care about AI. They're not on these computers like you and me are every day. They're not trying to fight for their jobs. They just want somebody to service them, right? And that's where I try to get ahead of this with the farm. With the farm, we have actually something happening this weekend. I think we have a group being hosted. I just got a notice from our farm staff there. that we have some stuff. I was at the Goodstone in Suites, Goodstone Inn and Suites. Maybe Aaron, we pull up some pictures maybe of their Facebook or some of their videos. It's a nice, it's 268 acres, just nice retreat, blah blah blah, luxury, right? Where I was there with the wife spending a nice little weekend. And nobody talked about AI. Nobody, it was all about trying to be there, just enjoying. This is part of their atrium. But they have an amazing pool. They have an apiary. It's just an experience. Yeah. So this is an experience that has nothing to do with AI, and people and they get booked out. People pay for it. Right now, obviously these guys started a really long time ago. It's not a cheap place. But it's not something that you got to do right now, because you can make money just curating these events, just offering somebody with money the opportunity to say, hey, look, I know you work hard. What I want to do is put together a dinner party, right? Like, I want to put together a dinner party of young executives in, where are you at, Nelson? Philadelphia. There's a handful of people that will just join that, because they're like, thank God, because I work, I do the, like, at my dinner party, when you might ask me, hey, you black guy with that turtleneck, what do you do? I do a show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern called the Ask Dom That Show. But I don't got time to plan my own. Like, I just want to be around like-minded people. This is why people pay for yoga retreats. My wife being like a culprit, believe me, I've seen it. They'll pay thousands of dollars for yoga retreats. I'm like, Shorty, you could do yoga at home. But it's the experience that they want to buy. And we see this everywhere. All right, yeah, that's a good stone. This is like that. Now, I loved it there. We're gonna share some pictures. We're gonna blah blah blah. This is their other. But people, now I'm really doing opposition research to see how we can implement some of this stuff at Theka Farms. And they were 1996 established, even older. So they got a 30-year head start on me, but it's okay. They don't know how fast I run when it comes to business. But so what can you do for in real life experiences with people? And I'm talking about just one-on-one connections. Here's where I would start. I would start with saying, what am I good at? I've spent the last 30 years of my life really enjoying this and this. And it doesn't have to be your passion. You can love a lot of different things, but what are you really good at? Okay. I know Mr. Don Sierra is a musician. Right now, music is hard. There's a lot of money to be made, but it's only a small amount of people. And sometimes when you don't break into that as a musician, you feel frustrated. But now there's a couple ways. If I was managing that kind of career outlook, I could say, okay, there's a couple ways you could go with music. Well, you've learned so much over these last couple years in music. What is the pain point of musicians that are starting out? What is the pain point of musicians who are in that middle tier? There's so many musicians in that middle tier that are seemingly making a living on music, right? But they also have other jobs, but they haven't broken into that, 1% or 0.1% of musicians, but they're doing gigs here and there. They're doing interviews, blah, blah, blah. What's their pain point? How can I service that? And then on top of that, how can I create an experience where now maybe it's people who have the means and money to solve it? Because most Americans have money, right? Everybody who has a cell phone has at least $100 a month. You have gas money. Everybody has money for everything. Why don't you have money for me? Right? So, but they do if you have the problem that you can solve for them. So my way to solve it is, how do I create experiences for something that I know, I wouldn't even say I'm passionate about, because I try to take that away from making business decisions passion, right? Like, whatever, you do something long enough for the sake of making a profit, that passion nonsense is going to go out the window real quick. There's been so many things that I've been passionate about, and then midnight meetings and payrolls, and I'm like, I hate this. I'm not passionate about this at all. So whether it's farming, right? Like, I don't plan to sell eggs to make money. I plan to sell eggs to sell an experience. We're getting 500 chickens here pretty soon. I have we're gonna go into the B. So like put up that next. Okay, cool. Update on my B grant for Deca Farm. So recently I told you I had the NRC, yes, Natural Resource Conservation Services came out. We have some grants. If you are in the serving community, there's that grant workbook. And guys, you please take advantage of going in there and looking at it. I'm actually doing these grants. They're giving me money to do stuff. One of them is this week. We're back out there talking about a pollinator program for the bees. Now, one thing that I made it very, very, very clear to them, because we're dedicating an area just for bees, is I made it clear to them is they're like, they're a conservationalist. So they want the bees to have a place to roam free, live, whatever. I'm like, these heifers better pay rent. They got to make this thing look pretty. Because why? Nobody cares about bees. Nobody. It's 2 or 3 people out there. I don't know what the becoming a beeologist is, or whatever that is. Somebody tell me what a bee expert is called. But the reality is that most people care about the experience of bees, right? The flowers, the honey, the whatever, right? Like I didn't realize that most bees don't even make honey. I learned this years ago, right? Like there's all sorts of bees. Nobody, like the bumblebee, whatever. So what I was telling these guys is this grant program. Yes, I want it. Boom, boom, boom. They're pollinators. We finna make them work. Exactly. So it's like, and these bees actually that they're trying to get, they're actually native bees that they don't even burrow in the bee boxes. They go underground, right? So the lady's like, yeah, you probably don't even see them much. They go underground. They come out at certain times at night, but they're pollinators. So what did we decide? Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to make an alley in an area just full of beautiful flowers that people can experience in some way. And because of that experience, right? Like these same bees are there right now. These same bees are in any state park. You can go, whatever, but people aren't paying for that. Why? They haven't curated it as an experience. So if I can figure out how to take this grant money, curate it as an experience, make it Instagrammable, make it like, hey, come out because of these pollinator bees. Here's what you learn. You can throw it on Instagram. You can put it as a memorable aspect in your life, but pay me. That's AI proof. Right? Like there's no AI that like literally is going to, as of right now, really affect my business on that. If I can, there's the outdoor dining stuff, right? Let me see if I could show you guys some of the outdoor farming stuff and then I'll let you go. Now I'm really focused in on farming. Let me do but it could be anything, guys. Like there's, let me see here. Let me close my phone. Let me see if I can share my screen. Share screen. Entire screen. Share. Can you guys see that? What are you guys seeing? Oh, okay. Well, you guys are gonna see my entire screen, but I'm trying this new mirror thing on. Okay, like so this is just my Instagram. So pardon whatever comes up. It's not really me, but this is a company that I follow. It's Terra Firma Dining. These guys are out of like Australia or New Zealand or something, right? You ate chicken, you've ate grapes, you've ate cheese, but have you ever ate it that way, right? Like that they're curating an experience. I'm just like, now this is my farming page. So like buy the social media and AI, Sweet Honey Farm. Look at this. I didn't even provide, like I didn't plan this, right? Like these guys are just a farm that they just bring people together. I guess they do a workout, Sweet Honey Farms. Seems like, I can learn a couple things from them. They're just saying, all right, we're bringing in real life experiences. We're in the same track. GoDaddy commercial that has nothing to do with AI or for what I'm doing. again, in real life experiences, guys, you'll be surprised how much people are willing to pay for it. And that could be anything. That could be, again, this is the Terra Dining. Terra Dining. Look them up. They're actually very, very cool. And people will pay for it. Now, you get off here. Now, whether or not, okay, so I'm in the farming and agricultural and agro-tourism space. That's what that's why I'm speaking on that one so heavily. But no, you're into cars, right? Like, I know that there's been a lot of car meetups or whatever, right? Like, where people go rev your car. You guys like take over parking lots. I don't know if that still happens, or they do drag races. Cool, right? Like, but there, okay, so that's the middle market, right? What I told you is the middle market. You got people who are broke that they ain't gonna be, I mean, they ain't worried about it, right? Like, they might just be on Instagram, but they're never gonna show up. Then you got people who are in the middle there, right? That they do have like a little bit of a souped up car. They want to do something. They might have a nice job, but they don't have the time to. They just kind of want you to tell them what to do, where to be, make sure that it's safe, and blah blah blah, right? Like, boom. And then you have high end people at the upper echelons of, hey, I don't want to meet up at a Walmart parking lot. I have a McLaren or Ferrari, whatever it is, right? But I just want to meet up with people in this group. How do you curate experiences for them? Whether it's a dinner, whether it's a car, whatever. There's playing groups. People with money want to buy experiences. What experience can you sell? I don't know. I don't know. That's up for you to decide, and you let me know